Okay, so I know I put out on Twitter that I'm going to be doing that if I should do a Warp in Time review, and a lot of people really want me to do that, and I will get to that. I will get to that before I go and see Deadpool 2 next week. So just stay tuned. I will do it eventually, somewhere around this week, but I've been really busy. So, so you should pretty much expect it by like the week or before I go and see Deadpool. So, let's get on with this. Hello and welcome to the Rampage review. The Rampage stars Dwayne Johnson. He's a zookeeper. He looks after this gorilla called George, who's, you know, a little bit more whiter than most gorillas and a little bit more CGI than most gorillas. But him and his 3 other animals get infected by this box that has sciencey things in it. I don't know, I'm just going to call it a box of sciencey things in it. And he turns into like this giant King Kong looking monster, and we have a movie. So now, let's start with the good things about this movie. The best thing about this movie is Dwayne Johnson. Every time he's in this movie, he is always a pleasure to watch. I always enjoy watching Dwayne Johnson. He's likeable, charismatic, he's great in action movies, he looks great in action movies. Every time you put Dwayne Johnson in a movie, I will go and see it. He is a pleasure to watch, and I'm so glad they got him in this movie. Also, the CGI is also really good in the movie as well. I was actually really surprised with the CGI, because I just thought this was going to be like one of those like Hollywood throwaway movies, be like, oh yeah, the CGI is just there. Be like, no, this is actually really cool. And when the action goes down at the end of the movie, with, you know, the buildings toppling down and the action's going, it's really cool. You know, it reminds me a lot of the old Godzilla and King Kong movies, which I absolutely love. But then again, like, besides that, the last half an hour of the film, which is so great, and Dwayne Johnson's really entertaining, the movie is a bit uninteresting. The first 2 halves of the movie are really uninteresting, and I really didn't like it. And it was just like, I don't really remember that much, and you could have probably start off half an hour of the movie just being, you know, just explaining what happens, and you could have also had like the other hour just being, you know, the monster fight. That could have been really cool. I feel like that would have been more better, because I don't really need like a sciencey explanation for everything, and you know, I just get really bored and sick and tired of it all the time. I just want to see monsters fight, and that's all I really want to see. And you know, when the monster fight does go down, it is really cool, but you have to sit through so much of the other boring stuff to get to that. Also, there are like 2 villains in the movie who I swear, like, they're both cartoons. Like, they didn't talk or feel like real life people. They just complete cartoons. I didn't understand why they were doing the things that they needed to do. I didn't understand anything of what they were doing. They were just complete cartoons, and I just did not understand what their motives were. This is also something I actually just thought, because this is based off a video game. So, and in a video game, when you die as a character, you somehow, like, become a human. So I was actually just thinking, what if I feel like this movie would have been a lot more interesting if it was like a human mutation. You know, sort of like the lizard in Amazing Spider-Man. I feel like that would have been really cool to see. It'd be like, it could have been something like that. But instead, we just get like that Godzilla movie that we got in 2014. You know, that Godzilla movie that had no Godzilla in it. You're stuck with just uninteresting human characters. They're good actors, but they're not really that interesting. This is pretty much feels like that Godzilla movie. Everything else is really boring, and you got bland characters, good actors playing these characters, but really bland. And the thing you're there for is the monster fight. And when the monster fight goes down, it is really cool, but you have to sit through so much of the other stuff as well to get to that. In the end, like, this movie's kind of meh. When really good stuff happens, they're really good. But you have to sit through so much of the boring stuff to get to those good stuff. And it's mainly in the third act when it just starts getting more interesting and I actually start caring, and I'm just like, this is what the movie should have been. Okay, so have you seen Rampage? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.